Well, good morning, everybody. This morning, we've got a pretty cool job, or at least I think it's a pretty cool job. Kind of something that we just started doing, I guess, on the farm. We've got here some of our soybeans right over here in front of us, and then over across the road there's some more of them. What we've got going on here is with the drought condition that we were experiencing. We've had some decent rain here lately, kind of alleviated some of the drought condition. But early on, these soybeans, we might walk over here just to get a little better look while I'm talking to you. Some of these beans, as the drought conditions were going on, were a bit stunted back. They weren't growing properly or correctly, and they didn't develop and get tall and make full canopy. If you remember the video of me rolling that field of hay, that was way back over on the other side of this field. Actually, we did get a look at them. Of course, now they have went ahead and made canopy, but I don't know if you can see right out here in front of me, there are some weed issues, and the reason for that being, it's like I said, the beans just couldn't grow correctly with the dry conditions that we had. We've got some late season weeds that have come through, some pig weeds most likely here, some cucumber, and probably on over in the far side of the field got quite a bit of Johnson grass. So what we're trying to do here is figure out what to spray and where to spray it in what part of the field. And in order not to have to walk out through waist deep soybeans and get everything soaking wet and nasty, what we've got into here is we're going to break out the drone this morning. We've done this in a different field last week. You can get a pretty decent idea of where the weeds are and what kind of weeds you're looking at. So I'm going to stand here and kind of fly out over the field here in front of me. We know there's some trouble areas. We can get a better look at it, obviously, with the drone that can fly out over in there. So I'm going to get everything, as far as the drone goes, get everything set up, get it up in the air. I know you guys aren't going to be able to see the drone footage here off the GoPro, but I'll try to maybe put some of that drone footage of the flyover in the video so you can see what I'm seeing. So I'm going to get everything set up here, get up in the air, and maybe I'll try to explain what I'm looking at as I'm seeing it.
Point has been updated. Please check it on the map.
All right, ready for takeoff. Okay, so here we are in the field. Just get a quick look here out the window. These beans are way up on the step of the tractor there. They're probably, I'd say, at least a good solid waist high. What you might have noticed there, if you can see, look down through there, the rows of the beans actually run that direction. However, I am spraying across those rows. The reason I'm doing that is these beans are planted with a planter that's plants on 15-inch wide spacing of the row. The width of the tires cannot fit down that 15-inch row. So if I was to spray those beans with the row, I would basically be running over an entire row almost all the time. And to prevent that and to cause less damage to the soybean, it actually is beneficial to spray them across the way the rows are planted. Kind of seems a little bit backwards from maybe what you think. From over here in this direction, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. There's a couple of passes that I've made. I'm not saying that you don't run over some beans, because obviously you do if you're out here. However, of doing it that way, spraying across the rows. The damage is minimized to an extent. So we're probably already about 3 acres into our big 6-acre load, so we're about a half done. I'm gonna try to cut across through here a couple more times, maybe up in a back. It looks like I might get through here, and then I'll go back toward the back end and try to get that spot. And if we got any left, there is a little spot over on the far side, but we do try to minimize just driving through these just to get to a little spot, because you are tearing up some beans, and at this point in their life, they're getting to that point that you don't need to be messing around in here too much. But we know that we have a weed problem, so that's what we're in her after. So I'm gonna finish this up here. Won't take me another 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll check back in with you. Well, we've completed our big, actually had 7 acres in there. I misspoke there earlier. Completed our big load. I headed back now. So some of the pluses and minuses of spraying beans that are that big, one of the pluses is just as long as you can figure out how to go across the row, for the most part, there really isn't much else you got to try to follow other than the line on the GPS. It's not like when you're spraying small beans that you need to go right down the road and you have to really keep track of which row and make sure you're not running over a row. You can just drive pretty much. Obviously, one of the downsides is you pretty well know that when the beans get that big, whatever you run over, probably not gonna make the full yield, if any yield, honestly, to be flat out honest about it. If you mash them completely down to the ground, they may kind of branch out a little bit, but you've heard them some. Another one of the negatives of spraying like that is you can't see the ground. So if you don't know where a hole might be, or you've got some rough spots in the field, when you're spraying them, when they're small, you can kind of see the ground, kind of keep a better eye on the terrain a little bit, I guess you could call it that. And if you see a rough spot, you know, well, okay, I better slow down here. Not in that situation, because you can't see the ground, so you're just kind of along for the ride. If you hit a big rough spot, you're just kind of bouncing around a little bit. I pretty well know where most of those are, but you just kind of hit stuff at a different angle, especially since you're spraying across the road. You just kind of weird rough spots in some weird places. But it didn't take us 15 minutes to do that, but it will make a big difference, because those weeds do not forget to grow. So they'll keep going, and hopefully we took care of that problem, and when we go to harvest that bean field later in the fall, they'll be clean and the weeds will not be an issue. Well, after we completed our big 7-acre load for the day, I think that's gonna wrap the day up. That'll be the end of this video. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys next time.